Hi, my name is Robin, and I am a creative aging teaching artist working in storytelling. And I have adapted my in-person storytelling classes to work in a telephone format. Teleconference, where all students call into one phone conference line, is a format that can be used for remote delivery of creative aging programs that may even be more accessible to some older adults. It is certainly an option if the older adults you hope to serve do not have access to a computer. It is also a good alternative for those adults who might be anxious or resistant about using computers. Here are some tips if you decide that phone programming is the right format for the older adults you wish to serve. As always, it's important to survey your student about their tech capacity prior to deciding the art form you're going to teach. Believe it or not, dance programs and visual arts can be done over the phone. However, think through clearly how this can be done. In some cases, the teaching artist might need to send written instructions prior to the class with the steps of the skill they're working on, and perhaps also send supplies. Or a dance teaching artist might be calling out moves over the phone and will need to instruct the participants to put their phone into speaker mode so they can move without having to hold it. There are ways to explore many art forms via the telephone. Again, survey your potential students to find out what works best for them. There may be additional prep necessary for phone programs. Prepare the students with class plans. You can email them if they use email, but also be prepared to send some simplified class plans via regular postal service before the start of your first session. You can include all session plans in a single mailing. In this communication, also explain to the students the phone etiquette or rules that you'll be following during the sessions. You will also need to review these with the student at the start of every class. Attendance can be hard to track on the phone. Some systems will give you a printout of the people who called in for each meeting, so check for a system that might do that. You can request the participants state their name up front when they join the call. Having an extra staff person on the line, besides just the teaching artist, can be very helpful for monitoring attendance and offering any technical support to students. Once you decide on the art form, you'll need to adjust your class design to the phone format. Because you can't see the group, focus on each individual one at a time. Tailor and design prompts and artwork that the students can try to work on independently. Stay away from activities that you must all do together, like singing together, and instead focus on the skill you are teaching that day and what each student will learn. Often the artwork is created outside of the teleconference, like a painting a student might be creating or an instrument the student is practicing. And the teleconference meeting serves as a time to reflect back on their process, receive feedback about their work in some cases, with an art form like storytelling, and certainly is an opportunity to ask the teaching artist questions and get advice about the project they're working on. Encourage listening from the other participants when sharing work or feedback. When you can't see faces, facilitators and participants need something else to track the flow of conversation. So you may ask anyone speaking to state their name before their comment or question. Since you can't rely on physical cues or body language over the phone, students may need to be reminded to pass the mic. So come up with a language and agreements that can be gentle reminders to the students to share the time and space. Using a timer is a good idea if the practice is established from the beginning. Work as a facilitator to make sure that everyone on the call is given the opportunity to speak. Check the teleconference technology you are using to see if it can offer breakout rooms as an option if you feel it would be helpful for your program. The chance for students to work together in small groups is a great way to encourage their ownership of the process and boost community building and social engagement. Culminating events are still possible in many phone programs. Invite family and friends to join the conference line for a final sharing of work. Remember to establish phone etiquette rules with your invited guests at the beginning and be very clear with them about the agenda for the event and how it will proceed. Additionally, if there's an opportunity for the audience to offer feedback after the students have shared their work, make sure to establish safe feedback protocols with everyone before they share their points of view on student work.